Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen. As-salatu was-salamu ala Rasulihil Kareem wa ala alihi wa sahbihi wa man istanna bi sunnatihi ila yawmiddin. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh, brothers. Last week we did the Umratul Qada of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and we also talked about that some related events to the Umratul Qada and that year, and also we talked about the three major conversions. The three Sahaba, the three non-Muslim, they became Muslim during that time, and these are the three people, they became Muslim just before the conquest of the Makkah. So they are the last batch, you can say. And those three people were Khalid bin Walid, Amr ibn al-As, and also Usman ibn Talha. Now today we'll talk about another battle. It's called the Battle of Mu'tah. This battle has a lot of significance in the history of and the Seerah of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And this is basically one of the most traumatic event, one of the most traumatic battle. This battle caused some heavy damage to the Muslims, Sahabas. So we'll talk about it today. And this has happened just after the Umratul Qada, that's why we placed it here. But unfortunately, most of the books of the Seerah doesn't have much detailed information like we have the Battle of Badr or Uhud like this. We only have like few pages like about this topic. And some later scholar, like some modern scholar, they have derived some other things from those few pages of the earlier books. So inshallah we'll begin. The first thing we'll talk about the name of the battle. The battle is called the Battle of Mu'tah. What is Mu'tah? Mu'tah is a name of a place. And current day, if you go to Jordan, it is a place just near Amman. Amman is the capital of Jordan. So it is a place near Amman. And there's another city, I forgot the name, so between Amman and that other city of the Jordan. So basically it is very close to the Amman city. And from Medina it is almost 700 to 800 kilometers. So it's a bit far away for the people of Medina for that time obviously. And this battle, the Battle of Mu'tah, was actually, in Arabic language there's two types of battle. And we spoke about this before. It's called Ghazwa and one is called Sariyah. Ghazwa is type of a battle where Rasulullah took part, like Badr, Rasulullah was present there, and also Uhud, and Khandak, and Ahzab, all these battles, Rasulullah was present. So these battles are called in Arabic Ghazwa. And Sariyah means expedition, meaning Rasulullah sent some Sahaba or a group of Sahaba or maybe some few hundred Sahaba to a village or a tribe to conquer it. So he didn't go participate himself, but he sent people on behalf of him. So those are called Sariyah. In this battle, Arabic is called Ghazwatul Mu'tah. But although Rasulullah didn't participate in this battle, but still the earlier scholar, they describe as Ghazwatul Mu'tah because the battle was so huge, because the number of Sahaba was a lot of them. Almost 3,000 Sahaba were there from the Muslim group. Rasulullah didn't take part. And also the result, the consequence of the battle was much more effective, as I said, and traumatic. So that's why they said, although Rasulullah was not present, but it takes the precedent of like a battle which Rasulullah took place. So this is called Ghazwatul Mu'tah. There's another popular name, it's called the Ghazwatul Jashul Umara. Jashul Umara means, Jashan means like gathering, and Umara comes from Amir, because this battle has, Rasulullah selected 3 Amir. In every battle, every Sariyah, Rasulullah selected 1 Amir. But this battle, he intentionally said, if he's died, then you are the Amir. If he dies, then you are the Amir. So he selected 3 Amir. So this is called Jaishul Umara, so the gathering of the Amir. So this is the name of the battle. So, and the time and the place, as I said, the time is after the Umratul Qada. So it's the 8th year of the Hijrah in Jumad al-Ula. So 8th year of the Hijrah. So only like 2 years before Rasulullah, the last Hajj. So it's almost the end of the time of Rasulullah and just before the conquest of Makkah. And also the place, as I say, is in Mu'tah, in current time the Jordan place. The reason for the battle. The reason for the battle is very unknown, but some of the books say that it is kind of a revenge from the Muslim side. What is the revenge? That Rasulullah sent, actually this battle happened in Jordan, is north from the Medina. And that area was at that time occupied by a lot of Arab Christians. And one of the Christian tribe was Ghassani. It's called Ghassaniya. Their tribe is called Ghassa. They are very, very crude and violent type of tribes. They are far away from Medina, but they are known for their warriors and their crudeness and their cruelty and everything. And this Ghassaniya has a very close connection with the Romans. The Romans are in Syria at that time. So Syria is up north, okay? So the Roman government, the Roman people, they have a connection because they are Christian and the Romans are also Christians. So basically they are like their agent. So suppose, if Canberra is the capital and, the government has a group of army who's controlling like Wollongong or something, like, like a small place. So, but they are connected with the government, something like this. So they have clear connection with the Roman, and also because of this battle, we will talk about that, the Roman has sent a troop of, army to help this Ghassaniad. So initially, Rasulullah didn't want, a lot of books say that this is a fight between Muslim and the Roman. This is the first fight between Muslim and the Roman kingdom. But actually, it's not exactly the Roman people. It is with the tribes, the Ghassaniad, but other people help the Ghassaniad, and obviously the Roman people, they send troops to help the Ghassaniad. And the revenge, as I was talking about, one of the book mentioned that Rasulullah sent a messenger, to give the letter to this Ghassaniad team, and they captured the messenger, they killed him and everything. So this is not the way you should do it. Messengers are always protected. Even today, the foreign people, the democratic, people, if you just go from one country to another country, the foreign officers, they are all, their life is safe because you are a messenger from your country, you are a messenger from your tribe, so you shouldn't kill them. So one of the books said, they killed one of the Sahaba and Rasulullah sent the whole trip. But it is not very strong reason and not very authentic reason, as I said. But Allah knows the best. But there is some reason, maybe Rasulullah want to send a huge trip to show them that Islam is a global. It's not only around the Arab; it is beyond the Arab. So Rasulullah want to establish the fact that Islam is a global religion. It is not only for the Medina and Mecca and the Taif and all these areas. It will go beyond this, and he wants to give this notion to the Sahaba and to the other people that Islam should be spread out all through everywhere. And that's why he didn't take part, but he sent almost 3,000 Sahaba. And the other side of the enemy, some books say 100,000 people, but it's a bit exaggeration. I think 100,000 is too much for that time in that area. So the current number is, we can't have the exact number, but so the Muslims are 3,000 and the non-Muslims were about 10 to 11,000 people. So almost like 3 times or 3 or 4 times as a Muslim has. So this is the number. And now Rasulullah, as I said, that he selected 3 Sahaba. So the first Sahaba who is the leader was Zaid bin Harisa. You all know Zaid bin Harisa. Zaid is the Sahaba. He is the Sahaba. He is the only Sahaba that mentioned in the Quran by name, as we mentioned a lot of times in the Seerah. And he was quote unquote the adopted son of Rasulullah sallallahu, until the Surah Al-Ahzab came that adoption is not for Rasulullah or not for any Muslim. So other than that, everybody used to know that Zaid is the son of Rasulullah sallallahu, and his name was Zaid bin Muhammad. And we talked about his story before, so we don't want to go there. But only one thing I would like to mention, that a lot of people, we only talk about Abu Bakr, Umar, Usman, because they become the Khalifa, they are very close to Rasulullah. But Zaid has more, higher priority than them. In one sense, that every Sharia that Zaid went, every group, every small or large battle that Zaid went, he was never the second person. He was always the Amir. Rasulullah never sent Zaid in any of the expedition where he was not the leader. And same is here. So he is the first leader here. And Aisha radhiyallahu anha in a hadith, in authentic hadith, she said, and remember this is from Aisha radhiyallahu anha, she said, if Zaid was not died in the battle of Mu'tah, because today we'll know that Zaid will be shaheed in this battle, Zaid was not died, if he was alive, he will be undoubtedly the first Khalifa. No doubt. Nobody would even ask any question. If Rasulullah is passed away, Zaid is there, Zaid will be the first Khalifa. And this is from Aisha. Aisha is the daughter of Abu Bakr radhiyallahu anhu. Imagine how honest she is, because her father is the first Khalifa. She could have hide this fact or everything, but no. She said, Zaid has more, priority. His maqam is more higher as a Khalifa if you were alive. But he was not alive. He became shaheed in this battle. So Zaid was the first leader, and the second leader was Zafar. Zafar ibn Abi Talib, and Zafar just came back from Abyssinia. We talked about Zafar just a few weeks back before. He just came, and Rasulullah loved Jafar a lot because he looked very similar to Rasulullah, and his age also was very similar to Jafar. Jafar is the elder brother of Ali, if you have forgotten. So he is the elder brother of Ali, and his age and similarity, the way he used to look and talk, was very similar to Rasulullah. And Rasulullah loved him so much that in the battle of the Khaybar, when the Muslim owned the millions of dollars in Khaybar. Khaybar was the huge ganima for the Muslims. And when Jafar came and at the end of the battle, he said, I am so happy, I don't know what is the reason. Am I happy to see Jafar, or am I happy that Allah has given us so many booty of the Khaybar? But by this he said that the whole booty, the whole millions of dollars is nothing as to see Jafar came back. And he kissed Jafar on his forehead because he loved Jafar a lot. So the second leader, as Rasulullah said, that if Zaid passed away, Zaid becomes Shaheed, Jafar will be the Imam, Jafar will be the Amir. And after the Jafar, the third one was Abdullah ibn Rawaha. Abdullah ibn Rawaha was another Sahaba, and he's not from Makkah. Both Zaid and Jafar, they are from Makkah, they are Muhajir. But Abdullah ibn Rawaha, he was an Ansar. He was a very brave warrior of the Ansar, and he was also a very good poet. So he was the third leader. So Rasulullah selected these three leaders, that you go, if one passed away, the second one, if not the second one, then the third one. So the Muslim went. So we're not going to go to the details of the battle, what happened, because we don't have the record like this. So basically, when the attack started from both sides, they charged because they're very big in number. And the group of Muslims, they didn't expect that many people, because they thought they're going to fight with one tribe, maybe two tribes of the Ghassanian. But when they saw that thousands of people are coming from the Rome, they become a bit nervous and scared. Why scared? Because not the number, because Romans were known for the trained, they're trained soldiers. They have different kind of weapons, and they are like proper army, not like the Bedouins of the different tribes. Because the Bedouins are Bedouins, Here sometimes they have the sword and this and that, but not like the Roman. Roman are a disciplined nation at that time, and they have the way how to be trained, the soldiers, their horses, their camels, all these things are very, very professional. So that's why the Muslims are a bit scared. And that fact, some of the Sahaba said that we should go back. It's nothing wrong in that, because we came here to fight someone and we saw a larger enemy. We came here, we give our message, and we can go back now. We don't have to conquer anything, because it is an offensive attack. They are not disturbing us. Rasulullah told us to come, and if it is not the case, then we will go back. And some say no, we should write letter to Rasulullah that he should send some more people for us. But the other people say, no, if you send a letter now, it will take 2 weeks. 1 week to go to Medina and another week to come back from there. So at the end, Zaid bin Haritha, as he was the Amir, the first Amir, he talked to the other two Amir, and they decided, no, we will fight, we will go forward. And at that time, as I said, Abdullah ibn Rawaha, he was a poet. He told, Zaid bin Haritha, he chose him. He said, you want to talk something about all the soldiers, because Zaid, he's a good in leading the team. But Abdullah ibn Rawaha, being a poet and everything, he had a very good speech. So he's using his ability. Look at the thing. In our time, if I am the leader, I never listen to other people, and I never give charge in charge of it. This is our common features, common nature. But the Sahaba are not like this. They know that he is good in this, so bring him. And Abdullah ibn Rawaha, he started the thing that oh Muslim, the thing that you are looking for, that's very close to you. You don't looking for to win here. We are looking for Shahada. The Jannah is waiting in the corner. Why are we afraid? Just go and charge. And and Allah will, we win Badr, we win Uhud, we win Ahzab. So it will be nothing. And if it has happened something like this, inshallah Allah will put it in the Jannah. But that doesn't mean that Shahada is good. Shahada is the best thing as you can die. But being Shaheed as a foolish is not encouraged. Like I went to the battlefield, I drop everything, I say, okay Allah, I'm ready for die now. Come kill me. No, that is not the case. They are saying no, we have to fight till we die. And then if we become Shaheed, Allah will take us to Jannah. So anyway, he motivated the whole thing, and everybody went to fight. And as Zaid bin Haritha was in the front, because he is the Amir, and he has the flag in his hand, and he was charging, he was fighting in a very brave battle. But the enemy attacked him from the back and from the side, and he had a lot of wounds, and he passed away. Another thing happened at the same time. When this battle was going in Mu'ta, in 800 kilometers away, Rasulullah was sitting in Medina with other Sahaba, and he was giving the live update basically. So Jibril came to him and Rasulullah telling to the Sahaba, and we have this hadith in Bukhari and Muslim from Anas ibn Malik. Anas was a small boy at that time. He was like a slave of Rasulullah. He used to take care of Rasulullah. He was saying Rasulullah was crying and describing the whole thing as if he's describing the live update. So he's saying now, Zaid is approaching, but he was killed. He was attacked from this side and that side. Now the flag went to Jafar, and Jafar, he fight also a very furious fight, but and he has the flag in his hand, because the flag is the symbol. If the flag dropped out, you are defeated, basically, kind of like this. So you never let your flag go over your hand. And Jafar has the flag in his left hand, and he's fighting with one hand. And then the enemy, they attack Jafar from all around, and they cut his left hand first, the hand that holding the flag, and then the whole hand was chopped out. And then he throw the flag to his right hand with one hand, and they cut his right hand also. Both hand is chopped out of Jafar, and he fall down, and the flag fall down. But then again he tried, with his two shoulder, he tried to grab the flag, and he could do that. And then they killed him from the back. So they thrust a javelin like a spear from the back, and he couldn't stay, and he died. And then Abdullah ibn Rawaha, he became the Amir, and he is also trying to fight. But he's describing that later on some Sahaba said that Abdullah ibn Rawaha, he was a bit scared. All the way he was the one who was motivating the other people, right? But he became a bit scared. Why scared? Because he can see in front of him that the death is coming. It's very difficult for him. He can see that he's going to die. So at that time he was versifying some poetry, as if he's going with the flag, and he's versifying. And some of the Sahaba listened to it, and they describe it later on. He was saying to himself, oh my nafs. He's talking to his own soul. Why are you scared now? Because you are seeing death? No, I'm pushing yourself, I'm pushing the soul, as you say, go forth and fight for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So, and see how honest they are, Of course you will be scared, you can see that it's complete death. But he's telling his soul, his nafs, no, I'm pushing myself, go ahead and fight. And he fight, and also he fall down, and all the three Amir is passed down. And at that time, one of the Sahaba, he took the flag and he ran away to a place where the enemy cannot attack. And now they have to choose a fourth leader. So because the three leaders had passed away, the Rasulullah didn't select the fourth leader. And everybody said, the Sahaba who had the flag, he said, you become the leader, you have the flag. And he said, no, I cannot be a leader, because I don't have the skill and everything. We have to choose someone else. And then they choose the fourth leader. Can anybody know who's the fourth leader? He's a new Muslim.
I think Khalid bin Walid.
Khalid bin Walid, yes. And this is the time, and this is the battle where Khalid became what he was. So he became the Saifullah. So they give Khalid the flag, and they said, you will be the Amir for us. And then Khalid went, and he quickly, because he's a born warrior, he quickly made two plans. He said, first thing we have to do, we have to gather together, and we have to complete attack. Don't try to defend. Whatever we can do, and whoever we see in the front, we'll attack him. And once we have a heavy attack on them, then we will go in another place and regroup ourselves. So this is the first thing, that we have to just charge forward. Because the other time when Zaid died, people was trying to back up or something. He said, no, we're not going to defend ourselves. We're just going to be offensive now. And he himself described in a hadith later on, he said, in the battle of the Mu'tah, I started to fight, my one sword broke. Then I take another one, my another sword broke. I took another one. So he's killing people, and his one sword is broken. And he said, I used 9 swords on that day. Not 1, not 2, not 3, 9 of them. And then I got a Yemeni sword. And Rasulullah describing this, that Allah has now, Rasulullah said, Zaid has passed away. Zaid became Shaheed. Now Rasulullah said, Jafar became Shaheed. Abdullah ibn Rawaha became Shaheed. Now Allah has given the sword from, the min Saifun from Saifullah. Allah has given his sword to a person that will bring the win for the Muslim. So Rasulullah given the title that Saifullah. And from that, the Khalid bin Walid's name was Saifullah. And he is the sword of sword of Allah. The Saifullah means the sword of Allah. And Khalid bin Walid, if you read his history, he died not in a battle. He fought so many battles after that. And every battle he win. Every battle. Not a single one he lose. For Abu Bakr, for Umar, for all the stuff. Almost another 12, 13 years he fought for Islam, and he never went. And he died in a bed. He was sick, for something, some stomach infection or something. He died in a bed, and he cried to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, Ya Allah, I fight for so long for Islam, but I wanted to die as a shaheed, but I'm dying here. And the scholars say, why is that? Because he is Saifullah. Nobody can kill him in the battlefield. Because if he's killed, Saifullah is killed. Allah's sword is broken. So that's the scholar said, that's why Allah give him a death like a simple person. That Allah has took his soul, nobody else come and kill him. And this is his honor, and inshallah Allah will give him honor the way Allah wants. And he was a very new Muslim at that time. Imagine in our time, if you become a new Muslim, a new convert, we'll tell him to learn some surahs and this and that, brother, take slowly, you take some months, and he's just become Muslim 2 months. And now he has the sword and he can see the death in front of him. 9 swords was broken in his hand. And then what happened after this attack? The enemy, they also got scared. And they took also a shelter, and the Muslim also took some shelter. The battle is not finished yet. But then Khalid bin Walid said, no, look, we are less in number, and if we want to fight more, we will have more massacre. They will bring more force, and all of us will die. This is not a wise thing to do. We can come back and we will fight again. And at that time, almost 30 people has died. From 3,000, 30 people had died. So only 1 person is dead so far. So Khalid bin Walid said, what we should do? He did another trick. In the morning time, so at night, both parties took shelter in different places. In the morning time, what he did? He said, we're going to create some impression that we have more force coming on. So he sent 3 or 4 Sahaba far away in the desert, and they, with their horse, they created some dust and everything. So from the far away, it looks like a lot of people are coming. The dust is, anything, because that's the sign. That's the way that, some horse is coming from the far away. So he created like a impression, and by looking at that, the enemy, they didn't charge in the morning. They were waiting, they want to see how many are coming. And at that time, the Muslim, they retreat, so they went back to Medina. So now, when they went back to Medina, this is a win because, and the scholars have actually different opinions. But, the first opinion, this is a win because out of 3,000, you have only 1 person dead. And they didn't kill you all. And you came back safe and sound, so that is also a win. So that is considered as a win of the Battle of Mu'tah. Some scholars say that, this is a loss because, we retreated, they came back and everything. And some say it's not a loss, it's not a win, it is both parties neutral. Because nobody has prisoner of war. Nobody has captured anybody. Nobody, both sides fight, both sides got killed and everything, so they came back. And later on it says, in the early morning, before the Muslim came, they want to bury the Shaheed. All these three leaders that died, and some Sahaba, Abdullah ibn Umar, he was in the battle at that time, he was very young. He said, we found the body of Jafar, and on top of him, we found like 40 people. The 40 non-Muslim on top of him as dead body, and then we found it, as if he's fight with all these 40. And then they counted, Abdullah ibn Umar, he counted how many wounds. 69 wounds were there in the body of Jafar. In his whole body, there's 69, stretches of mark. And why they count the numbers? Because that is the sign of bravery. I know it's not, you may think like, how come there's a dead body and you're counting how many wounds? Because that is the sign of the bravery. So that he can go to the Muslim of Medina, go to his children and tell them that your father was brave and this is what happened to your father. So they counted 69 wounds was there in the body of the Jafar, and they buried them over there, and they came back to Medina. As after the event of the battle, as I said, the Rasulullah was crying and describing all this because Rasulullah loved all these 3 people. Zaid was his own son, and death is death. They become Shahid afterwards, but Rasulullah at the end of the day, he's a human being, right? He has emotions and everything, so he was crying for them. And few things happen after the battle. Some of the hypocrites of the Medina, they make some fun of some of the Sahaba, the people who went. They say, you ran away, you furra. Furra means who ran away from battlefield. You became a furra. So some Sahaba, they were in the battle, they stayed in the house for a few days. So you notice that, why this Sahaba not coming to the masjid? So some of the other people say, no, some people are making fun of him that he is a furra, meaning he is like, he's like, just ran away from the battlefield. The Rasul, no, they are not furra, they are qurra. Qurra means, the one who come back again with more bravery and everything. So Rasul changed the word from fa to the kaf, and he said they are qurra. Qurra means, they are more braver. So Rasul said, no, these people who are saying they are munafiqun, I mean not munafiqun, he didn't say that way, but he said, they don't know what they are saying basically. And another event that happened that, the family of Jafar has, 3 sons at that time, and they were crying and they are wailing and everything. And Rasulullah said to them, because wailing, as you know, that's another sunnah that we learned from this event, that wailing means, you cry very loudly. You say, okay, my dad passed away, how I will run. He used to run the whole family, like all this thing, making, hurting yourself and all this thing, sometimes, people cry like this, even in our country, our people, but this is completely haram in Islam. You can cry, but cry, properly, like not with making not a lot of sound. So wailing and crying is a difference. And this is one of the major sins, as you know. So one of the guy came and told Rasulullah, Ya Rasulullah, the woman of Jafar, the house of Jafar is making well. Rasulullah, go and tell them to stop. That guy went and tell them, but they didn't stop. He come back and he told us, Rasulullah, they didn't stop. Rasulullah, no, go again and tell them to stop. He come back again in the third time. Rasulullah, go and tell them whatever they want to do. So although it is haram, but it is a critical moment. So after 3 days, Rasulullah himself went to them, went to the family of Jafar, and he told that make good food for the Jafar. And this is from this we know the sunnah. The family who have lost their someone, like their father, mother, husband, brother, whoever, they should not cook food. They should not feed other. In our culture, it's different now. If someone's father is died after 3 days or 4 days, what do? We make a big feast. People come and eat. No, the other people, the neighbors should give them a food and everything, the console and everything. As Rasulullah said, and Rasulullah told the wife of Jafar, then from today, nobody will cry for my brother. And he called Jafar his Akhi, because usually Rasulullah called other people the Sahaba, Asbab. But he called Jafar his Akhi, he's my brother. And he saw that the Muhammad ibn Jafar, he has a son called Muhammad, he has a son named Abdullah ibn Jafar. He saw they are like 7 or 8 years old, their hair was disheveled, because 3 days they haven't eaten properly, her mother is crying and everything. It's a dead house, the house of the dead people, right? So Rasulullah called the barber and he cut their hair and everything for that. So he took care of the children. And Jafar's wife, anybody know Jafar's wife? We talked about her. Who is the Jafar wife? Jafar bin Abu Talib's wife. Do you know her name? Anybody? No? Asma bint Umays. Asma bint Umays. Asma bint Umays was one of the greatest Sahabiyat. One of the greatest, because after Jafar is passed away now, and she has son from the Jafar, 3 sons. After that, she will be married to Abu Bakr. And when Abu Bakr will pass away, she will be married to Ali. So she was married to 3 great Sahaba. And from 3 great Sahaba, she has, alhamdulillah, she has son from all the great Sahaba. So she was a mother, is a wife, is a great wife of the great Sahaba, and mother of all the great Tabi'un and Sahaba also. So anyway, Asma bint Umays, and Rasulullah said to her that Asma bint Umays said, Ya Rasulullah, what should we do now? We have nobody to take care of us, our children, my children and everything. Rasulullah said, I am the one who will take care of them in this dunya and also in the hereafter. And then he called the 2 sons, I think Abdullah ibn Jafar, he was the elder son, and he told him that, I saw your father was given 2 wings. Instead of 2 hands, because he chopped down 2 hands, Allah has given him 2 wings, and he's flying in Jannah now with the 2 wings. So meaning his soul, because the Shaheed who died, their soul is given in a green bird, and they fly in the Jannah. So that's what it means here. So and after that, everybody used to call those sons that the sons of the person with 2 wings. They have given a title, the person with the 2 wings. So this is a quiz question also. If you want to ask someone, who is the Sahaba that Rasulullah said has 2 wings? So there's a Jafar. And also after this one, this event, Rasulullah told the other people that wailing was haram, as he told before, and from now on nobody will do the wailing and everything. And this is how it ends here. And the last incident happened one of the morning after the Fajr Salah. He was talking to the Sahaba, and few Sahaba were crying. And Rasulullah, why are you crying? The Sahaba said, Ya Rasulullah, we are crying because we have lost 3 great of our friend, 3 great of our brothers. Zaid was one of the greatest leader. Jafar was so great leader, and we lost them. So don't we should cry? So they feel sad and just crying and sharing their sorrow with Rasulullah. Rasulullah said at that time, this is the hadith. He said, "Oh my ummah, don't cry, because we are such a ummah where it's like a garden, and Allah is taking care of garden by cutting the leaves and everything, so that next year it become more." Like if you have a rose tree, people who do gardening, like sometimes you cut the tree and everything so that, next time it grows more. It's called pruning or something like this. So Aslam is giving the same analogy that, the nation is like this. So it will lose some people, but next time Allah will send more people in this, and inshallah ta'ala it will be more in number, more in bravery and everything. And this ummah is blessed because I am the first of this ummah, and the last will be Isa ibn Maryam. And he said, there will be people with Isa at that time who will be more courageous and more pious and more righteous than you. So he's talking to the Sahaba. He's saying that there will be people with Isa ibn Maryam, Isa alayhi salam, they will be more righteous and more bravery than Isa alayhi salam. And this hadith says that, from this hadith, some of the scholars say that Isa alayhi salam will be the last person to die as for this ummah. Isa alayhi salam will be the last person to die for this ummah, as mentioned by Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. So inshallah ta'ala we'll finish this event here, this incident here. From next week inshallah ta'ala, we'll start the conquest of Makkah, or how it started, because that's almost the end of the last conquest of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. So jazakallahu khair. Oh brother, one thing, we have some breakfast, so we